Couldn't find my puka shells, darn it. But the ceremonial first puck is going to be dropped by none other than Robert Gordon Orr. And it should be a pretty special moment. If you haven't read the book yet, well, it is the holiday season. Makes a convenient gift even if you give it to somebody with dog-eared pages already. I don't know if there's an issue with the ice here or what, but the Zamboni has come out, and perhaps the Blues have discovered some kind of irregularity in their own end of the ice, which of course is where the Bruins attack in the first and third periods. It wasn't in this building, but something happened where there's now a parking lot that changed the lives of a lot of people, including the two guys in the booth. Derek Sanderson feeding Bobby Orr, and a moment frozen in time.
The greatest give and go ever. The fourth goal of the fourth game of the fourth period, scored by number 4, 40 seconds in.
And folks, if you like the Berkshire Bank exciting rewind, don't miss it tonight, because Brick's going to break that one down. And that ought to be fun. Brick, I don't know exactly what's going on down there, but they're flooding it. They're using water, and so they're putting down some surface there. And obviously, somebody reported to the officials that there was an irregularity, and the officials deemed it to be worthy of getting resurfaced.
Yeah, I think it was Scotty Bowman that brought it to everybody's attention. Didn't he coach the Blues in 1970?
Look, they could have parked a Zamboni in front of Glenn Hall, and Orr still scores. Of course, this is an Olympic year, and many of the players that you're seeing throughout the NHL season will appear in Sochi for their various countries, including the two coaches tonight, Ken Hitchcock and Claude Julien, both associate coaches, and you can see Hitch gesturing to the wristwatch like, what's going on? We got a hockey game to play. Here's the presentation.
And on the scoreboard, bringing home 2 historic Stanley Cup championships in 1970 and 1972. Their legacy left an indelible mark on the game throughout New England and the entire hockey world. The face of this gang of Bruins revolutionized the way hockey was played from his position on defense. And tonight, he is back on Causeway Street as we pay tribute to 90 years of Bruins hockey.
He could skate, he was strong, he was everything he wanted. He would hit, took hits, he gave hits. He was an incredibly fast skater, big stick handler. He was a dream, but he was a defenseman.
His reaction was so quick, and his brilliance was way better than the opposition.
Played against great ones, saw great ones. No one was greater than Bobby Orr.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome simply the greatest player who ever lived, number 4, Bobby Orr. Will both captains please come forward for tonight's ceremonial puck drop? Thank you, Bobby Orr.
Never gets old seeing that guy. And he makes everybody around him feel better about themselves, too. Tonight's starting goalie is brought to you by your local New England Audi dealers. Experience Audi Quattro all-wheel drive tonight. Yaroslav Halak in his career against the Bruins, largely with the Montreal Canadiens, has a couple of shutouts and a .941 save percentage. Tuukka Rask, in his last 2 starts, he saved 66 of 68, which is a save percentage of .970-588-235-294-1176, but we're going to round it to 971. So if they ever get through with the Paris peace talks out there in the center circle, we're going to have a heck of a hockey game.
I'll be curious, Jack, to see what happens in that area of the ice. Zamboni was paying attention to whether it's skating or when that puck gets into that location.
And now they're going to come out and they're going to squeegee it because the water that they laid down to flood it hasn't frozen yet. Wow. It's usually an extremely reliable playing surface here at TD Garden. And I don't know if they're suffering some difficulty with the pipes in that particular area of the floor, or if there was a jagged hole that they had trouble filling. Cold hard facts. We could use some chill down there. Brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light. The Bruins saluting their teams at the 70s tonight. So with that spirit in mind, we take a look back at the year 1970. The Bruins were Stanley Cup champs. The Baltimore Orioles won the World Series. Kansas City reigned supreme in the NFL. In the NBA, the New York Knicks won it. The #1 song, Brick, I Think I Love You by the Partridge Family. Monday Night Football debuted in 1970. Boeing rolled out something called the 747 that year.
You were a big Shirley Jones guy, weren't you?
In the interest of preserving my career, I'm going to pass on that one. Sean Thornton told Jamie Erdahl in the pregame interview that St. Louis plays a heavy game. I love that term in the NHL. They leave their marks on bodies and on the boards, and so do the Bruins. And about 8 minutes after it was supposed to begin, the game is on. St. Louis plays a man's kind of game, Brick. It's the way you like to see the game played. Rask makes a save on the bad angle shot from Oshie right off the drop. 2 nights ago, Buffalo scored 10 seconds into its game with St. Louis. A tip shot in front as David Backes redirects, and already Rask has 2 stops in 22 seconds.
Well, this looks familiar. In the Ranger game, the Rangers did not hesitate, Jack. Everything to the net, pucks to the net. The Bruins tonight, an emphasis on how clean they come out of their own zone, how they handle the forechecking pressure of St. Louis, given the fact that Seidenberg and McQuaid, 2 regulars out of the lineup.
Alex Pietrangela's drive, Johnny Boychuk blocks it, and here's Matt Bartkowski, who played through a really banged up knee on Tuesday night and is back in the lineup tonight. Carl Soderberg wants a St. Louis property, I should say, swings it back all the way to the Boston zone. Soderberg never played for the Blues. Schwartz knocks it loose, gets a second chance, and Rask shuts the door as the Bruins have trouble below the dots in their own zone. Soderberg, the long wrist shot, juicy rebound, Smith rebound, save, and the rebound off that goes off the apron of the goal. Carl Soderberg looked like he surprised Jaroslav Halak.
Yeah, he was deep in his goal, and he gave up a bad rebound directly right down to the slot.
Zdeno Chara all the way around the goal. He's got Boychuk back at the right point. He holds off Roman Polak with one hand. Here's Chara trying to swing it in front. Chara turns to the forehand. The snapshot goes wide. Soderberg had rotated back to the point. Now Smith going to work on Ian Cole down in the corner. Vladimir Sobotka, the ex-Bruin, who has really found himself a home in St. Louis. Skates it all the way to the line and out to center. Vladimir Tarasenko slings it in, and St. Louis will change out. Here's Kevin Miller, his NHL debut, called up because of the injury to Dennis Seidenberg. Jerome McGinley, TJ Oshie strips and McGinley gets it back off Krejci's check. Lucic's shot just wide, the rebound out the other side. And here comes Alex Pietrangelo, gives to Oshie. Ahead to Backes with Steen cruising on the far side. Backes misses on the glove side. Pietrangelo quickly to Jay Bouwmeester, who will play a ton tonight. That's into the circle. Backes can't control. Chara checks him. McGinley out to Lucic. He's got Krejci ahead. Krejci through to Lucic. Lucic to McGinley. The chip goes over the top and into the corner. A marvelous rush by the Bruins on the counter. David Krejci to Milan Lucic. McGinley catches it on the backhand. It's off Bouwmeester's stick. Krejci ties up Oshie, rams it off the boards to center.
The Bruins got caught in a bit of a slow change on the backhand, and that really led to the chance for Backes. He missed high glove side. Lucic gets the next best chance. He misses wide on the glove side. And then McGinley, that one-timer on the backhand, in by his skates, did the best he could to get it towards the net, but that missed as well.
Sean Thornton, who has a couple of goals in his last 3 games. The play is offside. And we're off to a pretty rollicking start here.
And before that sequence, there was a turnover deep in the Bruins zone. Johnny Boychuk tried to look up that right wing and then slide it towards the middle to the centerman. He's looking for Kelly. The steal. The return pass, Tarasenko to Schwartz. Good right pad save. And before that, it was an opportunity, too, for Riley Smith coming right down the middle on that bad rebound by Halak.
Paille's forecheck surprises Kevin Shattenkirk. Barrett Jackman is solid as the foundation of a building. Gets it to Chris Stewart. His shot goes off ex-Buffalo Sabre Derek Roy. Roy banks the pass to Shattenkirk. 3 years at BU. Jackman holds the puck against Thornton, sends it in deep. Brendan Morrow, who was captain of the Dallas Stars, got traded to Pittsburgh at the deadline last year and was McGinley's teammate for a while. Can't do anything with it, and here comes Paille. Throws it in on Halak. Shattenkirk intercepted. Bergeron wheels it through the slot and nobody home. Morrow dumps the backhand to the corner. Krug and Miller are paired. Kevin Miller saying this morning he's just going to keep it simple. Does. Now here's Marchand on the wing. Tries to cut inside. Goes for the wrap. Has the forehand. The shot blocked down. Polak takes it right in the gut. Marchand wiggling to the far side. Absorbs the Polak check. Puck rattles around back of the goal. Magnus Paajarvi wants a very high pick of the Edmonton Oilers and coming over in a trade for David Perron. Unable to clear the zone, and the Bruins are giving the Blues some fits of their own.
No, the Bruins go D to D twice, and then they use that stretch pass through the neutral zone. Krug able to zip it up to Marchand. Marchand, if he could have taken it short side, maybe made a move to the backhand, he would have. Got forced to use the net as his ally to shake the check. And then he tried that wraparound, but he held because he wanted to get the leverage on the forehand to go up under the crossbar, but had the shot blocked.
Halak getting a new stick. David Krejci and David Backes on the faceoff. Krejci wins the draw. Ginla back to Hamilton. The drive knocked down as Krejci and Backes are tied up. Now here's Steen with 17 goals on the season. Pietrangelo, the defenseman, hopping up. The shot, kick, save. Rask. The rebound comes up the slot, and Steen wins it to the wall. Backes rotating, drives the one-timer wide. Ginla can't control the backhand. Steen keeps it in the attacking zone. Backes flips the puck cross corner. Chara there unopposed. Chips ahead into Lucic's skates. Gives it away to Oshie. Oshie has Steen with him. Oshie faking on Chara. Goes around the goal. Turns it right back through the slot. Here comes Pietrangelo for the drive and a stick save by Rask. Chara brings it down out of the sky and has some space in the corner. Goes up the wall to Lucic. Lucic over the red line, and he chips it into Pietrangelo's.
It looked like that first shot by Pietrangelo on the initial rush jack down that right side from the tops of the circle actually was deflected. Rask had to react and get it with the right pad.
Soderberg goes right around Vladimir Tarasenko for the steal. Soderberg playing better and better. I thought your comment the other night in New York was very accurate, Brick, about how Soderberg's really learned the North American style, when to take the chance and when to play it safe.
Yeah, and he's learning the system too. When you watch him react, and the rotation and the familiarity with both Kelly and Smith has allowed him to feel more and more comfortable He's a powerful guy, strong man, big body. He leans on the stick heavy. He's hard to get the puck off. He's got a real good shot. And as he gets more comfortable and understands the game and understands the system, then the skills start to come out a little bit more. And Bruins trying to reestablish a real good third line. And he's there.
You Bruins fans remember Hannu Toivonen, 1-for-1 trade in the summer of 2007. And Soderberg came back to Boston. Here's Soderberg cutting to the middle, but Shattenkirk and Derek Roy head him off. Shattenkirk chips the puck up into the neutral zone. Kelly to Bartkowski to Boychuk against the grain. The tip ahead from Smith to Kelly. Kelly closes the shot. Saved by Backes. Saved by Halak, rather. Boychuk backs to the middle of the line. Soderberg with a quick turn, but Jackman dumps him. Brendan Morrow to Jackman. The lateral pass comes all the way across, and Chris Stewart sends the puck in deep. St. Louis changing up. Chris Kelly, trouble from Roy. Shoves the puck to Thornton. Cross corner chip. Paille there against Polak, and that is how the 8-year veteran pronounces his name, Roman Polak, from the Czech Republic. Actually from Slovakia, pardon me. Maxim Lapierre. Krug shuts off the pass. Paille to Thornton. Thornton cranks it wide. The rebound of Campbell on the apron of the goal. Too much traffic for Lapierre. Paille shields the puck, gets boarded. On they go. Ian Cole really teed off on Paille, who slammed head first into the boards.
Well, that was that little spin move late by Paille. That's why they let it go.
And so he gives Cole a shove, and the puck is deflected up and over the low glass. Kevin Miller, his first NHL appearance, and his parents are here. How cool is that? The Blues ask no quarter, and they give none. The same way the Bruins play, and that's usually what makes the games between these two teams so exciting. Dougie Hamilton holds, draws David Backes. Marchand's shot off Bergeron's leg and also Petrangelo's. Petrangelo might have been caught in an unprotected place. Bergeron turns around the shot, save. Marchand keeps the rebound alive. Steen scrapes it right to Marchand. Marchand a little juke on the far side. Bouwmeester chops him down. Eriksson comes flying through but can't bring the puck along. Good effort from Louis Eriksson. It helps Bergeron get the puck. Marchand in the slot. Backes settles it. Now has Oshie on his right and Steen on the near side. Rask at the edge of the trapezoid flings it and it rides the dasher. Here comes Marchand gathering speed over the center circle. Eriksson dragging the leg to stay onside. Wrists it wide. Here's Hamilton all the way down at the hash marks. Bergeron wrists the pass through to Marchand. Polak gives him a push. Chara with a lot of space near the blue line. Intentionally wide right in front for Bergeron. Bergeron trying to lose Ian Cole, who has lost the glove on the low hand. Marchand tries to twist middle. Steen and Polak check the puck away from him. Hamilton holds it. The Bruins changing out. Krejci now on the ice. Polak gets it ahead for Backes, but there's Lucic. Backes fights the puck through. Krejci upends Oshie. Hamilton back to Chara. Chara snaps the pass into Lucic's skates. He turns it into the attacking zone. Cole quickly ahead to Jaden Schwartz. Schwartz has Tarasenko with him. The shot off of Bartkowski's stick, up and out of play.
Real good energy shift by the Bergeron line. The rotation in the offensive zone, the close support, and the constant movement, trying to get to open areas, create some triangles, isolate some players, create some 2-on-1s, get to that slot area, even if it's just a possession play. Nice little spinorama shot by Bergeron through a little bit of traffic. And that's against that Backes line. You're going to have to make them work in their own zone.
Boychuk having trouble against Schwartz. Boychuk off the boards. Iginla fights it away from Shattenkirk. Krejci can't connect on the one-timer. Jackman into the corner. Here's Lucic from Iginla. Boychuk's blast! Oh, a Johnny Rocket. And that one made the glass. Lucic with a bomb. And Halak snares it with the trapper. The Bruins getting some looks and taking the shot.
And it starts with a puck battle win by Iginla about 10 feet inside the blue line after the turnover by Schwartz. Iginla Even if he's not on the stat sheet as far as goals and assists at the end of the night, he wins so many battles because of his compete factor and his strength, able to make a play to Lucic. And Lucic just kind of hangs out there in that high slot. Made a pass back to the right point for the bomb by Boychuk, and then he got a slap shot, being that third man high.
Roy, glove down by Krug. He sends it across to Miller. Miller goes north and south. Smith gets a piece of the puck, cannot control. Bouwmeester draws Chris Kelly, sends it around to Pietrangelo. Now Krug fires it through the goal mouth. Miller jumps up on the play, has trouble from Morrow. Smith rotating, blocks Roy's attempt to clear the zone. Chris Stewart takes possession.
Aggressive pinch on both sides. Started with Krug on the left, Miller on the right.
Bouwmeester to Morrow. He redirects behind Rask. Rask around through the corner. Stewart gets it between Krug and Soderberg. Soderberg extends the stick on the dive to get it out of the zone. Ian Cole looks for the quick up as the Bruins are in the middle of a change. Goes cross corner with the dump. Rask taps to Boychuk, quickly around to Paille, and here comes Cole. Cole takes it away. Ryan Reeves, who is a house, gets it low for Lapierre. Campbell tries to tie him up. Lapierre stuffs it in on Rask, and Rask has to cover to take the faceoff. Just past the midpoint of the first period. Shots are 6-5 St. Louis, 0-0 on the board.
Bruins doing a nice job in the offensive zone. If there's no shooting lane and you can't get inside position, you got to be thinking about possession. Chara's going to wrap it around here. Inside position in order to get the puck by Louis Eriksson, and then Brad Marchand with a good read to lend support. 6, 7, 8 feet away, short little pass that allows Bergeron to rotate to the high slot for the triangle opportunity. That's a good possession play. No lane to the net, Jack. If you're the defenseman, lay it in an area so the forwards can keep the pressure on.
Kelly and Backus, and Kelly wins the faceoff. Boychuk chases around in front of the Zamboni doors. Eriksson whacks the backhand. It goes over Bouwmeester, and it'll trickle the length of the ice. The faceoff back to the Boston zone.
You can help us out by taking a quick 2-minute survey at NESN.com/survey, and we'll give you the chance to win 2 tickets to a Bruins game in January. Visit NESN.com/survey during tonight's game for your chance to win.
Jackman and Shattenkirk now the defensive pair. And had been Bouwmeester and Pietrangelo. Jackman's drive rattles off a couple of legs. Bergeron around up the boards for Kelly. He gloves it to center. Oshie doesn't get much on the backhand, but it's far enough to get away from Eriksson. Jackman almost made a mess of it, and Eriksson almost picked that one up as well. Backus can't go through Chara. He sends the puck to the corner. Bergeron takes it with Steen in his face. Around for Hamilton. Snaps it to Eriksson. The one touch for Marchand. Bergeron coming late. Marchand cuts the wing. Goes around the goal. Turns to the dot. Finds Chara off of Steen's skate. Bergeron from his knees. And Ryan Reeves able to make the clear.
I know it's hard to do, but I'd like to see Zdeno Chara almost put the brakes on. Completely stop. The Blues are reading. He's going to continue drifting into that slot area. If he stops, maybe Marchand has an easy pass.
Reeves waiting for Hamilton and dropped the shoulder in him in front of the penalty bench. And here's Lucic cross ice to flatten Payarvi. Miller and Lapierre tangle behind Rask. David Krejci, patient as ever, gives to Matt Bartkowski. Bartkowski wing to wing looking for Iginla. Pietrangelo back after it, sends it up to Reeves. He taps the puck to center ice. Not surprising that Ryan Reeves would have that kind of gigantic hit. His father Willard was the most outstanding player one year in the Canadian Football League. Luch could have played CFL.
Well, you know the Blues are going to bring a heavy game, and I think Milan Lucic likes that. He wants to play that heavy game as well.
Yeah. A little big man out there for St. Louis right now wearing number 17, Vladimir Sobotka, who is one of a few to find just too much center depth in Boston. And he's played a lot of wing for St. Louis, but Hitchcock loves him at center. He says the guy's compete level is as good as anybody's.
Yeah, plays through a lot of pain too, because at that size, if you're going to play in the trenches, you're going to get dinged up a little bit. But he's versatile. He's got a good hockey IQ. You go back to his time in Boston. What you have? Savard,
Yeah.
Krejci, Bergeron. Tough to get center minutes with those guys.
Boychuk off the end boards. Torrey Krug has a lot of space and they're going to give it to him. Boychuk snaps the puck into the body of Ian Cole and dumps it in on the second chance. Bruins change out. It's the Campbell line. Paille and Thornton the wings. This is icing against St. Louis. Well, Matt Duchene and Vladdy Sobotka got it going, and it is not the size of the dog in the fight, because there's a lot of fight in that dog. He was going to get his 5 minutes worth.
He's got that low center of gravity, really powerful lower half too.
Yep. Unbelievable. Allows him to skate with his torso really upright, and that keeps his head up too. Bergeron wins the puck battle in the end boards. Marchand back to Kevin Miller. Miller intentionally wide. The carom goes into the back of the goal. Marchand steals it from Derek Roy. Gets shoved off by Polak. Polak chips the puck up to Morrow. Morrow had Stewart on the opposite side. Couldn't get it through to him. Miller takes the hit to move the puck to Bartkowski. Up the wall, Marchand with the good hit, and Bergeron clears. Eriksson trying to get around Jackman, who plays the body all the way. There's an example of the heavy game from both teams.
You go back to that pass by Marchand in the corner back to Miller, who's actually passing that puck at a pace hoping that Miller would one-time it.
Derek Roy comes off the board, sends it low. Stewart can't pick the corner against Rask, and Rask will take a face-off. And as usual, after the whistle, a couple of extra robust bangs of the body.
So once again, the Bergeron line with good puck possession in the offensive zone. Bergeron wins a battle. There's that pass by Marchand. Otherwise, he's going to zip that puck real hard. If you zip it hard, you hope the defenseman, in this case Miller, gets the shot off before the lane closes. But if you slide it at that pace, you're really trying to tell him, one-time this thing.
But Miller not wanting to make a mistake, and with Brendan Morrow right in his face.
Sure.
You know, Morrow knows a few tricks, having been around for 13 seasons before this one.
No, that's Miller's decision.
Yep.
He's got the play in front of him. Totally his call.
Backus throws the puck to the near corner. Dougie Hamilton swipes it up the boards. Krejci tries to draw it back. Oshie creates traffic. Kelly cuts him off. Krejci gains the line, tries a self-pass, ties up Pietrangelo. Pietrangelo chips past to Ginla, but here's Lucic with the body check to knock it loose. Krejci off Backus' skates, gets it back and drags it away from Pietrangelo. Tries a saucer pass. Alex Steen works forward against Dougie Hamilton. Sizzles it around. It hops up through the corner to the far side. Oshie and Chara can't come up with it. Krejci does. Slips it to Chara. Chara moves around Sobotka. Lucic, the backhand across the zone, gets it to Hamilton. Hamilton gains the line. Iginla has to turn it to the backhand. Snapshot, rebound, Campbell! Campbell takes it to the far side, rotates it for Hamilton. Now Hamilton across the zone for Iginla. The wrist shot saved by Halak, and he'll hang on. 5:22 to go in the first period. Zdeno Chara and Alex Steen say hello.
Meet the extremely new 2014 MDX at Acura.com/MDX. Zdeno Chara is our Acura key matchup. On Tuesday night, Chara logged a season-high 31 minutes and 42 seconds of ice time. Now, that is the 49th time in Chara's career with the Bruins that he has played over 30 minutes. In last season's 48-game regular season, Chara didn't play over 30 minutes. But, Jack, we may see it again tonight as the Bruins are rolling out 3 rookies on the blue line.
Yeah, Jamie and Brick, that's part of the reason he's the captain and the preeminent shutdown defenseman of his age. Zdeno Chara is more than willing to carry the load no matter how heavy it may be. Brendan Morrow bunts the puck in deep. Johnny Boychuk around Torrey Krug. A little bit of mix and match on the defensive pairs, as one would imagine, with both McQuaid and Seidenberg down. Boychuk trying to get away from Tarasenko. Torrey Krug out for Sean Thornton. He can't control. Sobotka gets it back from Cole. The wrist shot off of Paille's legs. Along comes Thornton. He's got Campbell middle. Thornton hits the brakes. Works it low past Cole to Campbell. Campbell spins off Polak's check. Now leaves it in the corner, and Sobotka takes it. Sobotka plays with a pretty short stick. And that's partly a product of his very upright stance. He likes to keep his hands so close together, Brick. He's a very interesting player.
Yeah, he's guys that shoot the puck real hard generally use a longer stick, Jack. So guys that are talking about, what's my job, what's my role, if I'm a possession guy because I'm playing center and I have to make plays in my own zone, I want a shorter stick, something I can use to handle puck when I get in tight areas, when I'm called on to make plays in the defensive zone. That's the type of stick you want to use.
Ken Hitchcock this morning called him the conscience of the team. Chris Stewart's shot off Smith's stick. Soderberg, Bartkowski, and now Kevin Miller has to give chases. Barrett Jackman pinches in the corner. Smith bangs Jaden Schwartz pretty hard. Schwartz cycles it for Stewart. It goes to the far corner. Bartkowski bangs Roy and takes him out of the play. Now Miller with Schwartz approaching. Miller 1-on-2, gets the puck ahead to Kelly, to Smith. Cross ice, Soderberg gallops up against Shattenkirk. Here's Bartkowski jumping up. Shattenkirk with the shot block, and the puck lobs into the protective netting.
Great individual seats and suite rentals are available for all home games this month, including this Saturday's matinee matchup with the Hurricanes here at TD Garden. To purchase tickets or rent a suite, visit bostonbruins.com.
Matt Bartkowski on his horse on that rush.
Yeah, and it was a nice play. You can really see the Blues defense, particularly on the left side, pinching down the wall almost 100% of the time. And Riley Smith made a nice play to come deep, win the battle, cross-ice pass, and that allowed Bartkowski to jump into the play.
Erickson to Chara playing the right side, fires it, and it goes off Bergeron just wide of the post. Bergeron coming high slot past the traffic to make the redirection, only missed by a couple inches. Chara swoops in, the shot goes off of Bouwmeester down on one knee for the block. Bouwmeester dragging the puck up the kick plate, lobs it over everybody. Chara's at the back now. One gets the feeling that the captain understands what the burden is tonight and that he is expecting the very heavy load. Chara really playing at a high level, but here's Bartkowski one sequence ago.
Yeah, and this is why it works, because you got four Blues, the fourth one being Backman pitching down the wall. And the minute Riley Smith's able to pull his puck out of that traffic, now you got a little something going, middle of the ice. Bartkowski recognizes, I'm going to take off, drive the net, create the 2-on-1. Unfortunately, Soderberg's shot was well played and deflected up over the glass.
Krejci and LaPierre on the faceoff, and Krejci wins it. LaPierre ramming through, though, got the puck to Payarvi. Payarvi and Miller go to the corner. Miller throws the shoulder into Payarvi. Miller jams away. Reeves back to the corner. Miller facing both Reeves and Payarvi. It's a rugby match down there right now. Payarvi tries to take the puck middle, but the puck can't get there without the body. LaPierre shields nicely from Bartkowski, turns it for Payarvi. Payarvi gets it onto the forehand off Miller's skate. Pietrangelo banks the backhand pass all the way to center ice.
And that's where the hard work and practice pays off. You do a lot of 3-on-3 down low coverage, and the Bruins able to protect well.
Krejci almost steals from Bouwmeester, but Pietrangelo rescues the puck. But LaPierre giving it away to Ginla. The shot tipped up and over. Krug. Krejci is offside. The faceoff's going to come back inside the Boston zone, as that's where the pass came from.
You know, when we get together as alums and, you play charity games and people say, what are your fondest memories about playing in Boston? And believe it or not, almost to a man, we used to talk about practice and the 3-on-3 down low coverage like this situation right here when you went against a guy like, say, Ray Bourque. Ray would practice like it was game conditions, because that's what you needed to do. Conditioning and understanding leverage, body position, all that stuff. And if you're a star player and captain, practice like a game, you better practice that way too. And that was fun.
Good stuff. Ian Cole with the puck on a roll. Campbell gives him a whack. Cole turns the net with speed and then leaves the puck behind. Campbell picks it up at the hash marks, tries the drive, couldn't get it on goal. Boychuk blasts one into Sobotka's legs. Paille feathers it to Krug, to Campbell, scores! Gregory Campbell taking the brilliant cross-ice pass from Daniel Paille. It's 1-0 Boston.
Well, Paille got it to Krug, and then Krug found Campbell. But it starts with dogged pursuit by Gregory Campbell. Cole tries to go indirect off the boards. against the grain, but the Bruins create the turnover. This is forecheck. It's well executed. It's about effort. Thornton comes across. That allows Paille to stay high. And this shot by Campbell was designed to get a rebound, but it was off the net. But the Bruins are up with good gaps. And there's Danny Paille able to come across, pick up that loose puck. Good read by Krug. Great pass by Paille. An even better pass by Krug. Thornton doing the job at the top of the blue paint. And even though it's a bit of a healed one-timer, it's just inside the post.
So what do these three guys I'm about to list have in common? Let's see. Shawn Thornton, Daniel Paille, Gregory Campbell. Those are your last three goal scorers for the Boston Bruins, and they're on the so-called fourth line. 2 nights ago after giving, oh no! All the way through Rask! An amazingly fluky goal. And that one comes 31 seconds after Campbell's goal. I was just in the process of saying that St. Louis had a quick answer in Buffalo, scoring 59 seconds after the Sabres had.
Well, at first blush, it looks like Tuukka Rask is just trying to put paddle down and direct that puck to the right side of the goal. A quick little wrist shot by Roy. The lift of the stick by Boychuk. Bartkowski's in a battle right at the top of the paint as well, much the way Thornton was left alone at the opposite end of the goal by Campbell, and this puck just has eyes.
That was quantum physics is what that was.
1 minute remaining in the period.
So it's tied. 1-1 in the final minute of the first, and a very quiet TD Garden. Zdeno Chara on the end boards. Tuukka Rask may not give up a goal like that the rest of his career. Marchand flips the puck right on Halak. Here comes TJ Oshie. Bouwmeester, the defenseman, jumping up on the right. Backus picks it up. The backhand flips over the stick side. Bergeron whacks it back of the goal. Less than 30 seconds to go in the period. Dougie Hamilton working it forward. Here's Bergeron into the attacking zone. The long shot into Halak's body with 18.5 to go. Rick, does this take the wind out of Boston's sails?
Not at all. They've had a good period. If there's one thing we know about this core group, they play through a lot of stuff. And this is just a weak goal that, like I said, the puck had eyes. Rask thought he was in great position, even though there was a lot of traffic right in front of him. But he had a good look at it, just couldn't get the stick down flat.
Jackman hard off the boards. It bounces down in front of Bartkowski. Pajärvi sending it in. Boychuk off the boards. Shattenkirk gloves it down. Sobotka with 4 seconds to go in the period. Iginla makes sure that he doesn't do anything dangerous. And the siren sounds to end the first. What a wacky last couple of minutes. Gregory Campbell gets his first goal of the season. And then 31 seconds later, kaboom, the roof falls in. So with the long change and the value that Ken Hitchcock puts on playing the body and getting the puck deep and playing a simple game, Brick, I suppose that's what we can probably look for in the next 20 minutes.
Yeah, I don't expect too much to change. And again, the emphasis of Boston is how cleanly they come out of their own zone. If they're able to do that on a consistent basis like they did in period number one, they'll fit it right into the rhythm of how they want to play this game tonight.
And as you're speaking, there's Patrice Bergeron not only going below the dots but angling toward the puck carrier to make himself available.
In the second period, to go to your point about the changes, if you're a matchup kind of coaching staff or team, and both these teams are, the long change becomes a concern because you don't want to get caught in any outnumbered situations because you're trying to make a line change.
Torrey Krug rattles it around, pops up on Bouwmeester, and Riley Smith is all over that. Smith, one way then the other on Pietrangelo, and here's Soderberg in the weave forward of the goal line all the way out to the hash marks, wheels it in deep. Smith, Pietrangelo wins the puck right back. Kelly puts the shoulder on him, and Pietrangelo goes down, hops up, takes the short feed from Sobotka, and then cracks it cross ice for Morrow. Johnny Boychuk gets it in deep. We track where the puck is, and it was in Boston's attacking zone only 40 seconds longer than it was in St. Louis's in the first period. Virtual non-factor there. Both of these teams playing pretty even. That one comes off the referee's skate. Chris Kelly trying to cash in on it. Don Van Massenhoven almost giving the Bruins a good break. David Backes, the captain of the Blues. Vladimir Tarasenko over the red line, and he dumps it in. Chara swings it out to Krug, running out of space against Backes, but gets the puck forward to Lucic. The snapshot, glove save Halak, and what was he looking at? Looked over his right shoulder, even though the puck was in his left glove.
Well, Chara gets this loose puck about halfway in the defensive zone. He wants to go D to D Krug, and Krug recognizes the pressure's coming, so all he does is touch it up to the neutral zone, allows Lucic to skate right into it. They try to generate a 3-on-2, but the Blues have enough people back, so Lucic wisely puts the shot on goal.
Chara dumping it just wide of the goalie. Ginla swings it right back through the slot. And Alex Steen brings it up ice 3-on-3. Lucic gives Steen a late forearm shiver. Krejci to Lucic. The Bruins out of their own end cleanly. Here's a Ginla snapshot through the webbing of Halak's gloves. Steen, the short radius turn to get away from Lucic. Ginla finishes his check on Steen. The Bruins going out of their way to make contact with the NHL's leading goal scorer. Here's Shattenkirk all the way down the slot, and Rask kicks out a beauty. Ginla to the center dot, throws it in deep. Paille there first, but Halak snaps the puck away from him. Jackman up ahead for Stewart. Campbell cross ice off Thornton's stick to Paille. Shattenkirk bumps Paille, tries to shove the puck down the boards. Shattenkirk blocks it. Miller keeps it in the attacking zone for the moment, and now the Blues break back. It's Stewart inside the Boston line, driving across ice. Thornton drags the puck away from Schwartz, tosses it cross ice. Stewart quickly on it. The backhand bounces around in the slot. LaPierre can't wheel it past Bartkowski. Stewart under the stick of Jaden Schwartz. Ian Cole pinches in. Good zone time for the Blues here. Schwartz holds the puck. Stewart tries to turn to the forehand. Bartkowski plays the body, but the Blues take it back on the perimeter. Ian Cole guns it in off the stick of Stewart, and the Blues change while the puck's in the attacking zone. Campbell shoves the puck to Paille in the neutral zone. Now tosses the bouncer past Ian Cole. Cole wheels away from Thornton. Takes the space. Marchand with a big check. It was an executive desk toy special as they banged into each other and rebounded off the collision. Eriksson on the off wing closes the snapshot save, rebound all the way past Eriksson to the dot. Bergeron wins the puck battle. Boychuk snaps it in front. Polak tips it away. Cole hammers the puck off the corner boards. Marchand to Bergeron. He wheels it low. Cole with Eriksson hunting the puck. Eriksson the stick lift, enabling Marchand to skate onto it. Bergeron tips it high slot. Eriksson to Boychuk. The snapshot tipped by Bergeron and a save by Halak. Patrice Bergeron has had two excellent redirections tonight.
Eastern Bank invites you to support Toys for Tots this holiday season by dropping off a new unwrapped toy at Eastern Bank at any Eastern Bank location before December 14th, or simply donate online by going to easternbank.com/Toys for Tots. Well, this all starts with Brad Marchand, body contact. He angles Cole and then taking the route that he wanted him to go. Open ice hits are so difficult to deliver, and Marchand, that was a bigger beauty. And then that line again with a nice rotation in the offensive zone. The last shot was the quick wrister by Boychuk that got redirected by Bergeron.
Well, Marchand was on the receiving end from PK Subban a couple of years ago, but here's Bergeron's work.
Yeah, inside position, that's what it's all about. And LaPierre didn't want anything to do with Bergeron in that situation. Not sure why. That's lax in coverage.
Shall I speculate?
Feel free.
Again, around the goal, tries to trickle it in front. Pietrangelo blocks that. Dougie Hamilton recognizes, goes down to the hash marks, all the way to the corner, throws it off. Halak stick in front. Iginla in a battle, locked up with Steen. Oshie, and Iginla comes from behind to take it away. Lucic flicks the puck to the corner. Krejci takes the bump from Oshie. All the way back to Chara. Chara wrists it around through the corner under Lucic's stick. Steen waiting far side. Lucic bumps hard against Steen. Steen takes the hit. rattles it off a couple of skates. Steen gets it back. Krejci pokes it away. Lucic stick handles through traffic, finds Chara jumping over the line. Low for Iginla, tried to flick it in one motion and couldn't. Chara away from the boards, over to Hamilton. Coxon fires intentionally wide. The deflection from Krejci got it up the slot, but there was nobody home.
It's about the fourth time, Jack, we've seen the Bruins use that shot off the backboards. If they don't have a lane to the goal, if they don't have a shot at Halak, use that back wall and try to have it come back to the front of the net.
Vladimir Tarasenko wing to wing. Sobotka takes it on a bounce off the kick plate, closes, goes for the wraparound and blows an edge. Keeps the puck. Shattenkirk's wrist shot, save Rask, loose in front. And Smith whacks it to Soderberg. He's got Kelly sprinting up the middle. Kelly catches it on the backhand, but puts himself offside on the play.
Check out this Saturday's all-new Big Bad Bruins Live, presented by DCU, Digital Federal Credit Union. They'll shine the Big Bad spotlight on the Bruins Merlot line, take a look behind the scenes at Cam Neely's Comics Come Home event, and reveal the DCU Hero of the Week. If you like hockey, you'll love Big Bad Bruins Live, Saturday at noon.
Triple header of hockey. Couple of college games. Lowell against Notre Dame. North Dakota against BU after the Bruins and Canes. Stewart in the corner. This line's been really effective for St. Louis tonight. Cole to Stewart coming off the hash marks, fires it toward goal, gets it right back. Soderberg intercepts the pass from Roy, but Polak makes the play at the line. Boychuk banks the puck out to center. Polak drops in, center circle. Jaden Schwartz back into the St. Louis zone. Ian Cole into Derek Roy's skates. Soderberg gallops onto it. Soderberg, the long diagonal. Riley Smith gets inside on Polak. Poked away. Campbell's shot off of Shattenkirk. Shattenkirk rides Campbell off, but Smith wins the puck. Campbell fires it on Halak. Reached across the goal line to get any angle at all. It was only about 2 degrees, but that would have gone in if Halak hadn't been alert to it. Here's a little tumbler, and Campbell can't come up with it. Payarvi draws the puck wide. Reeves and Bartkowski on the end boards. Bartkowski setting the edges to win the puck. Kevin Miller to Paye. The pass behind Campbell, has to go back to retrieve under pressure from Payarvi. Bartkowski over to Miller.
And that move by Smith on the offensive zone, that little hesitation move where he steps to the inside, we're seeing that several times from him now.
Thornton throws it on goal. A stick save by Halak. LaPierre bounces it all the way up to center. Oshie spins it in to the Boston end. Chara all the way around. Chara tries to go up the wall, does not connect with Marchand. Oshie cross ice. Steen with a tumbling puck, fires toward goal looking for some kind of deflection. Pietrangelo absorbs a hard hit from Marchand, fires on Rask, sticks it away to Bergeron. Marchand tries to glove it down in control. Chara jumps right onto it and flips the puck in deep. Bergeron after it, gets it away from Bouwmeester. Now Eriksson. Pietrangelo checks him off it. And Eriksson gets the puck back to Boychuk. He rotates it to Chara. The wrist shot off the legs of Oshie. Steen to Pietrangelo. The defenseman up toward the Boston line. Chips in, and St. Louis gets a clean change. Marchand waiting for the puck. Steers it back to the captain. Chara goes D to Boychuk. Chara the long diagonal. The Bruins in the middle of a change. Polak holds, and he goes D. Ian Cole skates it out of his own end, gives to Sobotka. Sobotka over the Boston line on Chara and gets the second shot off. Polak drives it. That hits Boychuk's skate and goes wide. Cole sends it in deep. Chara off the corner glass. Lucic drops it down for Krejci. Krejci against Cole. Goes for the self pass, and Cole takes him out with a beautiful hip check. Polak bangs the backhand past Boychuk and Sobotka, and Krejci is all the way back to retrieve.
Well, you see how the Bruins came out of their zone. Chara with the steal just chips it up the wall, and Lucic is able to win that little battle, and it's just a short little 5-6 foot pass.
Krejci dangles it away from Derek Roy. Roy knocks the puck away. Jaden Schwartz runs into Boychuk's check. Krug one-hands the puck up into the St. Louis bench. 10:54 to go in the second period. Pretty hard-hitting night. They call it Newton's Cradle. That's the executive desk toy, you know. Boink, boink. Amica Coverage Cam presented by Amica Insurance. Great service, great coverage, and a great price for auto, home, or life insurance.
It's the details, the little details when you play against quality teams that add up at the end of the night. Milan Lucic along the wall. He's in a puck battle. He protects the puck very well, and here's the support that you want. David Krejci coming right near Milan Lucic. With that little battle, little touch pass, now you're out of your own zone. And even though this isn't a 2-on-1 or a 3-on-2 or anything exciting, those little things, to work that puck out of your own zone, to work through the forecheck of the Blues, they pay off late in the hockey game.
There's a pretty direct correlation between attacking zone time and winning games. 2 of the games Tuukka Rask has stolen have been among only 4 this year that the Bruins have not had as much attacking zone time as their opponents. And you can't expect your goalie to stand on his head every night.
Yeah, and don't fall into the trap that this is what you want to do all night long. If there's ice there to be taken, take it. If there's a north-south opportunity, go north. Don't get too methodical going D to D too many times when there is a play to be made.
Miller runs into traffic in the form of referee Kevin Pollock. Jackman's shot off the leg of Soderberg. Smith banks the pass ahead. Soderberg's going to win this race to the dot, and then he locks up with Jackman, and they go piling into the corner boards. And you got to hope Barrett Jackman is okay here.
With the hybrid icing, these are the kinds of hits, inadvertent, simultaneous, whatever you want to call it. And you don't want to see any injuries result.
Well, there's a timeout on the ice. Everybody seems to be okay. 1-1. Bruins and Blues will be back in a hurry with the rewind. Win yourself your favorite beverage at your local tavern some night if you come up with that one. All right, so here we are at the midpoint of this game, Brick. 1-1 between the Blues and the Bruins. The Bruins continuing their really hard-working style of play. Crowd recognizing John the Chief Busick on the TD Garden HDX.
Part of the 500 goal club.
Yep,
One of the best around the net.
He would take a bucket of pucks at the end of the morning skates and roof every one of them. Talk about old school stuff you never see happen anymore. Steen backs into Marchand, and Marchand bounces off. Backus goes through the gap, picks it up. Chara tries to mug him. Oshie sends it around. Bouwmeester, the quick release, loose in front. It's behind Chara. Steen hacks away at it, takes a backhand. Marchand blocks it, and here's Eriksson. Eriksson over the red line, scoots it into the corner. Marchand waiting against Bouwmeester. Back to Chara, the quick wrist shot knocked down in the pile. Bergeron from his belly slides it to Eriksson. Eriksson battles against Backus. Airborne for Marchand. He bounces it back to Hamilton, who keeps it on the line. Hamilton stick handling along the line, drives it. The backup tip try from Eriksson. Bergeron whips it off the skirt of the net. And St. Louis just has to ice it, and lucky for the Blues, it goes all the way in on Rask. He tries to catch the Blues in a change ahead to Hamilton, but he can't deflect the pass at the angle he wanted for Daniel Paille. Back is taking it away. Now here's Jaden Schwartz, who's had a pretty solid game so far. Schwartz all the way past the dot, the quick turn. Tries to find a gap, there's nothing there. Flings it to Chris Stewart on the end boards. Around past Schwartz, all the way out to Jackman, who returns with no signs of any damage after that bad collision with Soderberg on the non-icing call. Campbell with the big hit against Schwartz on the far side. Jackman in a jam with Thornton. Schwartz rakes it out of the skates. Stewart holds. Campbell pokes the puck back to center. Shattenkirk off of Paille's skates. Puck goes middle of the zone, and a diving save from Jackman as Thornton had space. Here's Roy. 2-on-1 with Stewart, and Hamilton is back. Thornton hard off the corner boards. Gaps starting to open up at both ends. Hamilton tries to go indirect. Sobotka with a really good read. Chugs straight up the left wing. Cuts it inside. Looking for Tarasenko. Chara at the toe of the blade on it to tip the puck away. Chara D to Hamilton up the boards. Thornton tries to get the puck up the wall farther but can't. Cole, who would pinch down, gets it deep. Chara turns away from Sobotka's pressure. Just hoists it out of the Boston end. It trickles and wiggles, and it will not go for icing. Polak hard around to Tarasenko on the front side of the red line. St. Louis changes. Tarasenko bunts it low, gets it back from Payarvi. Krejci flicks to Lucic. Lucic shields from Pietrangelo, draws three, gets it to Krejci, brings it back to Boychuk. Boychuk comes against the grain as Iginla had made a right to left move into a more congested part of the ice. Halak off the corner boards. Pietrangelo trickles it forward. Lapierre wants to go. Lapierre brings it up ice, tosses the backhand in toward Rask, who smartly takes the faceoff. Toyota game break with Dale Arnold. As they say in text language, OMG, Dale, because in game 24, that looks like Buffalo will take a lead into the dressing room after the first period for the first time this season. Yes, 24th game. First time leading after one. Astonishing. Miller engages Steen. Chara up the middle of his own zone. Kelly takes a big hit from Backes to send Smith forward. Miller calmly to Soderberg, redirects past Oshie. Oshie wins the puck back to Cole. Cole all the way forward to Payarvi. Payarvi has Backes near side. Miller just throws Payarvi off the puck. Goes forward for Kelly. He gives it off to Smith. The shot goes off of the defenseman Cole. Smith taps back to the point. There's nobody home.
Real nice play by Kevin Miller. Strong on the puck. Knocks Payarvi off it and then quickly moves the puck north through the neutral zone with something on it.
Bartkowski rushing all the way past the dots. Tries to swivel in middle. Shattenkirk goes body on body. Smith comes through, takes the puck away. LaPierre tries to pin him into the boards. Smith keeps the feet moving. Shattenkirk comes over for a moment. Smith wins it to Marchand. The snapshot save. Halak rebounded, and it goes to Polak. Polak, the defenseman, all the way in on Rask. He angles the puck up over the glass. Kevin Miller, more credit to Kevin Dean and Butch Cassidy in Providence, sending another one up. The road ahead brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Well, the Bruins are into it now. 8 games in a 13-day stretch. A matinee on Saturday on Nesson against Carolina at 1 p.m. Monday night against the Pittsburgh Penguins. And then on the road the night before Thanksgiving to play the Detroit Red Wings. And a reminder, hockey tripleheader on Saturday. The aforementioned Bruins-Canes game at 1 and a couple of great college games coming up at 4 and 7.
Carolina a couple times in a short period, along with the Rangers. Of course, Pittsburgh, probably the team that a lot of people felt would win the conference, or along with the Boston Bruins. And then Detroit, boy, do they need a win.
Yeah. Puck hops over Bartkowski's stick. What is it, 7 in a row?
Yeah.
Amazing. Bergeron, Eriksson holds away from Bouwmeester. Miller's drive, the tip from Bergeron. Bergeron seeing it well tonight. He's making some odd angle tips and doing dangerous things with him. Here's Bergeron in the corner, throws it right through the crease. Eriksson's shot comes right back to the corner. Stewart hits Bergeron. He takes it to move the puck to Bartkowski. Now over to Miller, whose confidence is gaining. Marchand into the corner. Eriksson looks over his shoulder and sees Pietrangelo there. Marchand in the cycle. Spins away from Bouwmeester through the seam. Bartkowski keeps it in the zone, kicking to the stick. Bergeron with the reach. He overskates it for a moment. Derek Roy just has to flip the puck out. Bartkowski trying to catch St. Louis in a change, and the play ruled offside.
Well, some more offensive zone time with puck possession by the Bergeron line. They've done a nice job of getting open for one another in the offensive zone, and not necessarily in a shooting area, but to maintain possession. Get a look at that backhand with his back to the net tip by Bergeron on the drive from the point. Some good patience by Bartkowski and Miller. Again, making possessional plays out at the blue line if they don't have a lane of the goal.
Krejci takes an early swipe, so he'll get thrown out of the face-off circle. Milan Lucic to take it against David Backes. Backes wins it cleanly to Shattenkirk. Shattenkirk wrists it, score! David Backes in front. The tip-in pass to Rask. And St. Louis has come from behind to take the lead.
One of the things David Backes does, as well as anybody in the NHL, is get inside position in that slot area. He's such a hard guy to play against. A wide body. The Bruins are just a little too lax in coverage. Got right in between Chara and Boychuk. Boychuk's thinking, I got to take Steen to my right. Chara's probably reading a puck chip down the wall, and there was just enough space for Backes to be open. And a good wrist shot, very tippable. The Backes gets it.
McGinley with a big hit on Shattenkirk. Oshie. Shattenkirk has Backes along the right wing boards, gives it to him. Krejci in the seam to intercept the pass. Lucic past Shattenkirk, who had dropped his stick. Hamilton taps it low for McGinley, but Oshie comes through to win the puck away for St. Louis. And Krejci makes a point of finishing his check on Oshie. We showed you the Oshie hit on Krejci from a few seasons ago, and Krejci at least half a dozen times already has made good solid contact with TJ Oshie. Backes up to his own line for Oshie. Oshie goes around McGinley, and that diversion causes Steen to jump the line offside.
Don't forget to purchase a raffle ticket for your chance to win Brad Marchand's or Jerome McGinley's autographed Bruins camouflage jerseys that were worn during warm-ups on Military Appreciation Day. The raffle ends tomorrow at 5 o'clock, that's 5 p.m., and proceeds will help benefit the Boston Bruins Foundation and USO. To purchase your raffle ticket, visit bruinsraffles.org.
Torrey Krug, toe picks, stumbles in the neutral zone. Boychuk gives the puck away to Cole. Cole, this is ruled offside. It appeared for a moment, at least from here, that Campbell had caught the puck in his chest on the line, but the linesman's a lot closer to it than we are.
And he's right on the line. He's got the best view of anybody and felt that puck, even though Campbell keeps it with his body in his chest, right on the line. Apparently not inside the blue line.
Cole up toward the Boston zone. Morrow getting a piece of the puck. Rask, Krug through the corner. Thornton can't clear the zone. Boychuk taps to Krug up the wall for Paille. Polak jams down on him, and the Bruins have some problems getting it out of their own zone. Boychuk into Sobotka's skates. Sobotka sees Campbell coming. Campbell bumps him off the puck. Still loose back of the Boston goal. Campbell gets the puck over to Thornton. Thornton, the airborne scoop, looking for Paille, does not connect. Uncatchable pass. There's no interference on the play. Sobotka goes head over heels as Krug cocks the hip and sends him flying. Thornton takes the bump from Payarvi to get it deep for Paille. All the way around the boards to Kelly. Miller bunts it in, and it spins around the near side. Ryan Reeves can't clear. Reeves bounces the puck to Polak's corner. Polak goes D to D. Pietrangelo moving the puck. Ryan Reeves at his own line. Soderberg intercepts. He sends Smith ahead. The shot off Polak's stick. Smith quickly to it. Slings it back through the middle. Bartkowski closes. Get Reeves down. Banks the pass. Smith can't catch up to it. Miller fakes the shot and just gets it deep for Kelly. Kelly holding off Pietrangelo. Taps it to Smith to Soderberg. High slot. The shot scores! Carl Soderberg picks the corner.
Soderberg made a great play in the neutral zone to get this puck into the offensive zone in the first place, and now he's going to be rewarded. Nice cycle game. Kelly, again, the Bruins using that possession play from the points down around the wall. Kelly's there, support's there from Smith, and they get into the triangle. Soderberg far enough away from the net that the man-on-man coverage is loose. And what a great wrist shot. Loved this little backhand feed in the neutral zone. Smith coming across, gets open for the quick counter back into the offensive zone. And good vision by Soderberg. And what a shot. Beating Halak left side with a little bit of traffic.
What's one of our favorite things about this greatest game on earth? It is that one team sets the bar and the other team finds a way to match that level or clear it. Each team has answered the other's goal by scoring on its next shot. Fluky as St. Louis's first goal may have been, they still had the puck in the Boston zone applying pressure. That tells you about the quality of these teams. Final minute of the second period.
And behind the play, Chara got a good piece of Backus.
Well, the captains do have a way of sort of setting the tones for their teams. Sometimes it gets a little nasty. Derek Roy saucers it out center circle. Chara with a gigantic reach gives it away to Shattenkirk. He goes north and south. Shattenkirk working on Hamilton's side. Curls away from the dot. Here's Roy down low. 2 chances. Almost a kick in from Steen, but the puck was still alive in the crease. Bouwmeester's wrist shot goes off Bergeron's body. The Bruins trying to finish strongly. It's been a real issue for them in the last 3 or 4 games. Hamilton off the boards. Pietrangelo knocks it down at the red line. Into the final 10 seconds. Chara chips off glass. Bouwmeester gloves it down. Sends it to the corner. Hamilton with Roy in pursuit. Hamilton just tries to numb the puck in the corner. And the siren sounds. The Bruins manage it in their own zone. And they'll go to the third, tied at 2, Brick.
Well, understanding how difficult it is for these two teams that play very similar styles.
Themselves available for the short, easy pass to get it out of the defensive zone.
And the wingers getting the job done in their battles in order to protect that puck, get available along the wall so that that centerman is available when they try to work the puck out of their own end. And that's all part of those little things that we were talking with Doug Jarvis about. You know, the wall battles, the puck support, and minimize your turnovers. Defense leads to offense. You heard that right from the coaching staff, and that'll probably ultimately what determines this game.
Bergeron the dart to Marchand, drags it inside the backhand, saved by Halak. Here's Eriksson spinning it into the middle. Shattenkirk to the far side, gives it away to Bergeron. The quick re-entry, Marchand getting back on side. Bergeron going to the boards, dropping it off Marchand, overskates the puck, gets locked out by Shattenkirk. Chara cross ice off the boards. Eriksson brings it back. Hamilton's drive, the high slot tip from Bergeron. He's had 4 deflections tonight. Barrett Jackman. Long diagonal does not connect with Sobotka, and that's ruled no icing as if Chara had a 40-foot reach. Riley Smith on the near boards. Chris Kelly in front of his own goal. Chara gives it ahead to Soderberg on the pivot. Soderberg loops it into the corner. Bouwmeester going back, and Riley Smith ties him up. Soderberg comes through, creates this. Kelly's shot off Pietrangelo right back in front, and Bouwmeester knocks it out of the slot. Soderberg back to the point. Kelly, the drive from Smith, a pop-up save by Halak, and he dives on it.
Did Soderberg get a piece of that? I don't
Yes,
know if that
sir.
changed direction or not, but again, this line with the motion in the offensive zone, Kelly staying high, he becomes the shooter, and he's in position to back check with a pinch down by Crew. Keeps the play in, the one-timer by Smith. Soderberg driving to the net, gets a piece of it. Halak was able to track the puck pretty well when it changed direction, had to keep that left pad in position.
Bruins creating a lot of dangerous situations. Scoring chances, 14 for Boston to 8 for St. Louis. Bartkowski's shot into the chest of Ian Cole. He splatters it off the wall. Lucic banks to Bartkowski. The drive saved by Halak. He kicks it to the corner. LaPierre shoulder to shoulder with Lucic. That's a mismatch. Lucic wins it to Krejci to Miller. Miller down the boards. Iginla fires on Halak as Lucic jams with LaPierre in front of the goal. Lucic to Krejci. Back to Miller. Comes off the boards. The high drive sails off the boards. Chris Stewart back to Roman Polak, and he chips it ahead. It's a 2-on-1. Jaden Schwartz couldn't do anything with it. Bartkowski steers him to the wall. We're going to see the first minor penalty of the night. Matt Bartkowski saying, "I did what?" And the referee says, "You held him."
Well, Bartkowski's speed allows him to get back on this play. Able to chase down Schwartz, knock that puck away from him. Then he wants to get in, get around him, and get better body position. But the official felt that free hand grab, enough for a hold. And you're going to get a look at one potent power play.
It is more efficient than any in the NHL, and it has scored the third most goals, 20, in the 20 games that St. Louis has played of any team in the NHL. The Bruins, of course, have killed 34 of their last 35. And Heidi Holland, bless her heart, probably has to order Neosporin by the tub for all the paper cuts. She had to go through the original game sheets and found a 55 consecutive kill streak of the Bruins in 75-76. That's a lot of research. Shattenkirk, high slot, Roy to Backes the shot. The block from Johnny Boychuk as he was in unconventional position.
Double pad stack.
Roy, Steen, back to Roy, quick puck movement. The high slot man is Oshie. Steen out top, the drive wide, the rebound, Backes, and another stop. Backes, a third chance, and Tuukka Rask dives on the puck. Oshie grabbing Gregory Campbell from behind. And Chara and Backes continuing to jaw one another.
Pretty good battles going on in front of Tuukka Rask. Power play for the Blues. Nothing pretty about it. Shot from Steen at the point, but it's an earlier drive by Backes where Johnny Boychuk lays out. Able to get a couple shin pads on it. There's the drive by Steen. Backes with the backhand. Backes with the forehand. Boychuk trying to clamp down. Gloves and elbows and sticks come up. Campbell came in on Oshie. Chara came in on Backes. And the battles continue.
Sobotka, Stewart, Tarasenko, Bouwmeester, and Pietrangelo on the ice about halfway through the St. Louis power play. Alex Pietrangelo accelerating through the neutral zone. The pass between Sobotka and Stewart. Stewart in low. Krug around the rim and out. Half a minute to go on the man advantage. Pietrangelo to a streaking Sobotka. Kelly angles him off, the puck free to Kevin Miller. Miller locking legs with Sobotka, reverses. Kelly pivots away and slings it past Louis Eriksson, who might have had a breakaway chance from the Boston line. Here's a mishandle by Halak. Eriksson holds the puck, brings it back toward Krejci, but Oshie intercepts. Oshie on a long diagonal cut. Chara gets the stick in his legs, pokes it loose to Hamilton. He fires it down the ice. Bartkowski's out of the box. 2 shots on goal during the unsuccessful power play for St. Louis. They had the puck in the attacking zone for 1 minute and 2 seconds, which is a pretty low percentage for a power play. Alex Steen, 17 goals, tied with Ovechkin at the top of the league scoring ranks. On the end boards, Chara giving Oshie the rub. Lucic, some nifty stick handling to get away from LaPierre. He's got Krejci on his left. Lucic tries to go against the grain to Iginla, and Jackman picks it off. Now LaPierre in transition for St. Louis. LaPierre right across the goal mouth, all the way back to Ian Cole. Cole settles the puck, drives it up the wall. Lucic has it again, swings it over to Krejci. Jackman knocks it off his stick. LaPierre inside the line. Steen is off. And that should be a deliberate offside coming all the way back to the St. Louis end. Let's see. Yep.
Absolutely.
That's where Don Van Massenhoven is.
Yeah, LaPierre just wanted to get a whistle here because it was body contact on the way. Thought he'd get away with the I didn't know my guy was still in there offside call. And now the Bruins have an offensive zone faceoff.
They've met before, Lucic and LaPierre. Smith can't get the shot off. Kelly in traffic. LaPierre finds it out of the feet, but here's Smith to Soderberg. The shot goes off of the legs of Cole. Jaden Schwartz into the Boston zone on the off wing. Kelly gets the stick in good position to deflect the puck up into the screen.
Tonight, following Bruins coverage, catch up with Adam Pellerin and Lee Hextall for NESN Sports Today, presented by People's United Bank. They'll have more reaction to the Blues and Bruins. Jermaine Wiggins will break down Brady versus Manning, and David Ortiz talks about the future of the Red Sox. Get all you need to know tonight after post-game coverage.
Sobotka, Payarvi, and Tarasenko. And Sobotka jabbing away at Gregory Campbell will get thrown out of the faceoff, so Payarvi in to take it. Campbell wins it back to Krug. Tarasenko lifts the stick, and then Krug lifted the legs out from Payarvi, and they say it's all fair. Kelly the drop to Soderberg. The rifle shot goes bouncing down to the corner. It gets scooped up and over the glass, and Don Van Massenhoven's making the signal that it was deflected up into the protective netting, so no delay of game penalty. The Bruins protest, but it'll get them nowhere.
Not a bad play coming across the blue line. Little drop pass by Kelly to Soderberg. Soderberg tried to wait, be patient, move that puck ever so slightly to change the direction of the shot, but it was still deflected, and then the board battle ensued.
And you could plainly see that Roman Polak did throw the puck off the boards, and then it went up and over the glass. Boychuk has to hum it cross ice. Krug now in a race for the puck against Sobotka, and the play's offside as the puck comes out, and then Morrow carries it in with Sobotka ahead of the play.
That was one of those passes by Boychuk. The minute you release it, you know it has to be a bullet. You know it has to be hard. But the minute it starts to elevate, you turn and start to get back, because that's going to be a difficult play for Krug to handle.
The Campbell line, which has found its stride in the last few games. On the ice with Bartkowski and Miller. Halak off the end boards. Jay Bouwmeester under pressure from Thornton, but he gets the puck ahead to Schwartz. Schwartz goes cross ice. Paille with good stick position. Pietrangelo rams it off the boards. Thornton back to pick it up. The Bruins look for transition here. Thornton tries the self pass. Schwartz rides him off, and Jackman takes the puck. Good tandem defense from St. Louis. If it looks familiar, it oughta. Very similar philosophies between these two head coaches. Daniel Paille with the check on Shattenkirk in the corner. Shattenkirk's assist in the second period was the 100th of his career in his 222nd game. Kevin Miller, a traffic jam with Matt Bartkowski. Bartkowski takes it, but it's past Thornton. Jackman pinching down to the hash marks. Campbell stabbing away at the puck. Jabs it out of the skates of Jackman. Miller taps to Bartkowski, around to Marchand. Marchand just slides the puck through to the neutral zone. Oshie threads the needle to Steen. The shot goes wide on the glove side. It pops over Oshie's stick. He gets it back from Bergeron, and Chara goes smacking him right in the chest. Bouwmeester off Backus's stick. Hamilton for Chara. Up ahead for Eriksson. He turns it to Bergeron. Flips it left wing for Marchand. Marchand drops it off for Bergeron. Bouncing puck. Marchand picks it up. Coming through the opposite corner. Finds Chara out high. The wrist shot off Oshie's legs. Eriksson trying to swim around Sobotka, who keeps good position. Sends it up the wall. Oshie backs into Chara. Hamilton, the quick re-entry. Bergeron, cross corner. Pietrangelo chops it ahead. Tarasenko. Morrow up the tunnel and out of play. 12:37 to go in the game. The Bruins and Blues banging hard on each other. 2-2 in the third. Performance Play is brought to you by your local New England Audi dealers. Experience Audi Quattro all-wheel drive tonight. A first goal of the year, and a goal against the team that originally drafted the guy. Gregory Campbell gets the first, and Carl Soderberg gets the second.
And you got to like both goals, Jack, in the manner that they were scored. The motion in the offensive zone, the puck movement, the cycling game, understanding how to attack, where the seams are. Great to see Campbell get his first, and Soderberg continues to impress and improve.
Tarasenko locked up with Torrey Krug right in front of the Boston door. Krug gives him a shove. The puck comes free. Bouwmeester to Morrow into Iginla's skates. Iginla off Krejci's skates. Tarasenko gives up possession to Krug. You can feel the tension between these players. They know how tight this game is, and it's probably going to turn on one little mistake followed by an opportunistic goal. Krejci gets angled off by Sobotka, and that's your threshold for interference or non-interference tonight. Krug sweeps the puck off Pietrangelo's blade. Krug the long diagonal. Lucic takes it on a bounce, wheels and goes cross corner, sailing it into the boards as the Bruins get a complete change. Pietrangelo bounces the puck in on Rask. That was a difficult save. Unpredictable bounce. Jackman off Bergeron's stick. Marchand over the line to Eriksson. Eriksson cross ice. Hamilton cocks and fires. Saved by Halak. He squeezes the knees, and again he looks over his shoulder. That's twice tonight.
Yeah, one he caught with his glove and he looked behind him. That one couldn't figure out. This one okay. It's towards the middle of the body. It's down in between the pads. You might be a little bit unsure. I'll tell you, for a guy that has got pretty decent numbers and has had some pretty good years. I know he had a tough night where he got pulled and then he let in the first goal the following game in the first 10 seconds. There's got to be a little bit of doubt in his game right now.
Well, as Joel Quenneville said tonight about Corey Crawford, here's Rask with a little problem. He's just in a spell where there are a lot of pucks in our net. That kind of settles it. Marchand gets pulled down in the neutral zone, and that is interference.
Yeah, I thought there should have been an interference on Sobotka on that little body contact with Krejci. But you said, Jack, we established a threshold for interference. We established that freehand hold threshold. Well, Jackman in the neutral zone. The Bruins trying to throw this puck in and establish their forecheck. Body contact down the left boards by Jackman. Pretty good sell job by Marchand. Jackman goes for interference.
Bruins power play brought to you by Mazda. David Backes wins the faceoff. Rask in front of his own goal. Steen and Backes, the penalty-killing forwards, and Pietrangelo and Bouwmeester, who play about half the game, are the defensive pair. Lucic around into the corner to Iginla. Bouwmeester gets it loose to his D pair. Steen takes it and scales the puck wide of Rask. Still about a minute and a half to go on the Boston power play. Chara turning at the attacking line. Jaden Schwartz gets the self-pass behind Krug. Krejci's there on the angle. Schwartz holds and dumps it in low for Sobotka. Krug tries to cave him in. Sobotka battling away. Krug takes the puck back. Now it's Oshie and Lapierre, the defensive pair. Lucic lugs it down the wall. Lapierre takes the puck away on the kick plate, picks it up and starts galloping toward Hamilton. Here's Lapierre with Oshie behind him. Lapierre spins off the Hamilton contact. Soderberg off the boards. Eriksson comes cross ice. Smith cuts to the inside. Pivot still has the puck. Finds Soderberg. He dangles. Leaves it behind. Lapierre pokes it away from Bergeron. Smith keeps it alive. Bergeron taps to Hamilton. He closes. The drive, save, and the rebound goes to the corner. Halak making the stop on Hamilton. Soderberg shovels to Eriksson. Eriksson back to Hamilton. He's got Smith on the left side. He draws Lapierre. Now Hamilton sets up the screen. Eriksson closing to the dot. Here's Bergeron on the feed from Soderberg. Hamilton with a big stretch to keep it in with 12 seconds to go on the power play. Eriksson to Bergeron to Eriksson along the wall. Riley Smith in front, the shot pops over back to Soderberg. The blind pass goes all the way through the slot. Smith picks it up on the end boards. Soderberg's shot close in, and he takes a big shoulder from Oshie as Halak smothers the puck at the conclusion of the power play. We'll see if the Bruins continue to gain attacking rhythm off of that when the game...
Well, the second power play unit, if you want to call it that, gets the second half of this power play chance. Dougie Hamilton with a real good opportunity But Soderberg, Smith, Bergeron, that's a nice combination. And first unit had a little difficult time establishing the positioning that they want, get into their plays, their setups. But the second unit came on and looked good. Soderberg he might have had a better opportunity right at the tail end. Smith had a real good chance when they worked that triangle, the quick 2-on-1 like they scored in Carolina. You just saw the Dougie Hamilton chance. And then Soderberg on a nice feed from behind the net. That last opportunity. Eriksson on that unit. And it's nice what these Bruins have been able to develop with the talent pool that they have. There's the Smith chance.
Soderberg changing the angle with the puck on his stick. And as you said, Brick, we've seen it several times in the last few games as he gathers confidence and starts to find where there's a little bit of time and space. The European rink is 15 feet wider. And the game tends to be a lot less chaotic in the attacking zones. Bergeron with a great check on Steen, and he gives up possession. Eriksson slings it around to the near side. Marchand tries to come right off the boards with it. Bergeron in front. Eriksson reaching. Jackman bats it out of the air from below shoulder height, and on they go. Backus sizzles the pass for Steen. It's offside because of the deflection, and the faceoff back in the neutral zone with 8:11 to go. And Steen now picking something with Bergeron.
Yeah, he doesn't like body contact. Doesn't he know he's got 17 goals and 26 points or whatever I have coming into tonight?
Yeah, but that's not the way he plays.
I got the red jersey on. You can't hit me. No contact.
Oh, boy.
Just so many little battles. A game like this, such a heavy game, such a physical game, fighting for every inch of the ice. This is not a surprise. Even with a guy like Bergeron who plays a real solid, clean game, but he plays a physical game.
You know, with Steen, it's kind of fun to play the woulda, coulda, shoulda game, because you look at his draft year, which was 2002. He was drafted 15 slots after Alexander Semin. And you think about when Semin was with Washington, how many times he kind of just disappeared when the going got tough in the playoffs. Rask makes the stop on the long wrist shot off Bouwmeester's stick. And how Steen is the kind of player that you would want when the going really gets tough.
Yeah, I was thinking today that, certain players at certain points in their career that really start to figure things out. They get with a coach, they get with a system, they get with players, they get to a certain point in their maturity. And sometimes it's the market you play in as well that you're able to handle it better. And maybe some of those are the variables that are leading to the season that he's having.
Bartkowski picks Payarvi's pocket. If you think that's a tough tongue twister, try Irish wristwatch 10 times fast. Payarvi spins the puck to the corner. LaPierre to Ryan Reeves, the big body on the far side, leaves the puck behind. Bartkowski knocks it around with enough steam to get it to Kevin Miller. Bergeron gets a piece of the puck, but it's well behind the red line, so that's another icing against Boston.
The TD Bank Community Clubhouse and the Boston Bruins would like to welcome the Conway Recreation Department of Conway, New Hampshire to tonight's game. At TD Bank, we're committed to supporting the communities we serve by making a difference together.
I hope John Whiteside's made an appearance. Sobotka and Bergeron jabbing away at each other. Miller over to Paille, tries a self-pass. Pietrangelo has the angle, and Bouwmeester, who's got legs like a giraffe, flags it down. Schwartz in behind Rask. He gives it away to Tarasenko. Miller knocks him down. Tarasenko right back to his skates, but the check by Miller allows Rask to get back in position. Now Schwartz one way, then quickly the other. Brings it back to Bouwmeester. The wrist shot off of Ginla's stick. Krejci to Lucic. He draws it wide against Schwartz. Right back into Schwartz's body. He dumps it into the neutral zone. Boychuk one-hands it, and Sobotka unloads on Boychuk. Krug sweeps the puck off of Ginla's forehand. Bouwmeester back to the neutral zone. Boychuk trying to get hard around into the zone, but the puck takes a funny bounce and goes up into the protective netting. So the faceoff back outside the blue line with 6:47 to go. You see the structure of both teams so evident here as nobody wants to make the mistake. Nobody wants to be that guy.
Yeah, and you think you're under 7 minutes to go in a 2-2 game with two elite teams on the ice, and you know, you're Kevin Miller, you get called up to play your first game, and you're still part of the rotation.
He earned a long look in training camp. Didn't hang his head when he got sent down. And he told us this morning it was good to get all those reps, to play all those minutes in Providence and really feel that he was tuned up and that he was ready to go to the next level.
Yeah, you think back to the Rangers series in the postseason last year, and one of the things that really jumped out were the matchups for Krug, the matchups for Hamilton are more Krug and Bartkowski. And this is a good matchup for Miller.
Boychuk gives it away to Oshie. Here's Derek Roy, but he can't stick handle through Soderberg and Kelly. Krug holds under pressure from Morrow on the forecheck, but he gets a pass past Oshie. Kelly gains the line. Down to the corner. Roy tries to pull it away from Smith. Oshie has the puck in his skates. Smith bangs him from one side, Kelly the other. Oshie muscles it to center. Hamilton sizzles it tape to Soderberg. Chara was jumping up on the play, but Soderberg couldn't get the pass to him. He did keep possession. Dougie Hamilton holds as the Bruins change out. It's the Krejci line with Iginla swinging right. Chara carries the puck. Iginla in the seam. Iginla to Krejci. Krejci can't settle the puck. Finds Lucic to Krejci. Forward to the goal line. Triangles all over the place. Lucic at the goal line to Krejci. Krejci comes out of the corner. Dangles Lucic's drive goes wide. Now Iginla hustles to the puck. He's on it. Past Backus. Krejci holds it. The right shot on the left side. Brings it back to Chara. The wrist shot tipped in front. Lucic on the doorstep. Now it's Iginla. Back into the corner. Lucic holding off Pietrangelo. Lucic muscling up the wall. Stick handles and then gives to Krejci in rotation. Chara receives Krejci's pass, draws it against Steen. It deflects across the slot, and the Bruins have good zone time here. Hamilton, the defenseman, all the way forward to the goal line. Goes around Pietrangelo. There's some deadwood on the ice near the high slot. Iginla chips it back to Hamilton. Hamilton's wrist shot saved by Halak on the stick, and it dribbles to the corner. Iginla tips it to Lucic. Lucic controlling on the perimeter. The Blues are tired, and the Bruins have held the puck in their zone for quite a while here. Now Steen tries to break past Hamilton. He pivots and keeps body position. Stewart can't come up with the puck. Iginla has to find some gas in the tank, and he taps it past LaPierre. Stewart in a collision between Campbell and Hamilton. It is a man's game out there right now. These are two tired teams just beating on each other. Here's Campbell. Knocked down at the line as Polak gloves the puck. It's in his corner. He gives it over to his D pair, Ian Cole. Up and out. Payarvi chasing against Miller. Miller makes a composed play up the wall to center. Reeves against Thornton, and Thornton chops it loose. Nothing gentle about this game, Brick.
Yeah, on the back pressure, you're never out of the play. And this is the way you got to finish. Finish strong.
Campbell's drive rattles around. It goes past Miller to Pye. Tries to go through the seam. It hits Reeves. Pye steps up, giving up about 60 pounds, and tries to knock down Reeves. Sobotka's shot off Miller's stick, and it goes wide. Bartkowski has a little bit of space off the boards for Thornton. Thornton holds, looks for a seam, loops it forward. Cole gloves it down. The quick exchange. Sobotka to Schwartz. Schwartz very quick, draws it wide. He's got Tarasenko going middle. Now Sobotka on the end boards against Thornton. Thornton from one side, Bergeron from the other. Bergeron chips off glass and out. Marchand will hunt the puck with about 3 minutes to go. Barrett Jackman makes the turn. Up the wall to Tarasenko. He's got Schwartz nearby. Tarasenko's backhand. Krug hard off Marchand's stick. Krug's second chance gives it away past Jackman. Funny bounce. Eriksson's shot, save Halak. Eriksson dangles, throws it off of Tarasenko, sliding past the post. Bergeron all the way up the slot. Krug holds low for Marchand. Marchand looking for Bergeron. Krug had it up in his ankles as the puck started to tumble. Morrow muscles it out to center. Krug seals him off. Bergeron to Eriksson, the quick re-entry. What an exchange we got here in the third period between the Bruins and Blues. Marchand on the half boards. Boychuk keeps it in as Roy's unable to clear. Morrow tries to go wing to wing. It's off of Kelly. Oshie gains the line. Oshie into Chara's corner. On the pivot comes back to Pietrangelo. Wrists it over to Bouwmeester. Bouwmeester's shot. Stick saved by Rask as he comes off the line. Eriksson backhands the puck to the red line. Bouwmeester D to Pietrangelo. He hammers it around through the corner. Funny bounce. Went right through Rask's wickets.
And we talked about all the little things that add up at the end of the night to help you win a hockey game. Both teams executing the little things.
Let's go Bruins, the chant from the 17,565. Nobody's asking for his money back tonight. These two heavyweights going at it in the final round. Riley Smith has Soderberg right. Smith's shot, glove save, Halak. 1:34 to go in the game. One of the best sequences we've seen all season, Brick, at both ends of the ice.
Yeah, both teams playing to win, but trying to stay within their system and their structure and their game plan. It's just a matter of may the best man win. Whoever wins the more battles, who's able to make one more play and get one more shot or one more chance, it's the only way you're going to determine this thing before the end of regulation. Riley Smith able to pick that puck off the wall. Good skating ability. Attack the blue line until you're forced to do something, and he gains entry. He had some options. Could have laid it back to David Krejci, but he was in a good area to shoot the puck.
The game report brought to you by the all-new Sierra. That's professional grade. Gregory Campbell scoring his first of the season at 18:20 of the first period. Only 31 seconds later. One of the flukiest goals you're ever going to see as the puck tumbled and wiggled and slid at about 12 miles an hour through Tuukka Rask's pads. It was 1-1 after one. David Backes tipped in Kevin Shattenkirk's point wrist shot to give St. Louis a lead, but only 2:37 later on their next shot on goal, the Bruins tied it up as Carl Soderberg scored on a dart. And so that's where we are. 2-2 with a buck and a half to go. Krejci, Iginla, Lucic, Chara, and Boychuk. Krejci has the puck in the corner. Loops the backhand for Lucic, who lifts Pietrangelo's stick. Lucic brings it back to Chara. Chara cross ice. Boychuk shot offline. Hits the corner boards. It pops up for Lucic. He grabs it, gets it past Bouwmeester down the wall. Iginla takes a big hit from Backes. Krejci. Oh, Backes slamming Iginla, who gets up, looks over his shoulder right at Don Van Massenhoven as if to say, I think I was boarded. And Van Massenhoven says, not tonight, you weren't. Final minute of the game. Bruins and Blues in a bruising beauty at Boston's TD Garden. Milan Lucic, Iginla against Sobotka. Has a little bit of space. Lucic with Pietrangelo watching him. Cycles it for Krejci. Iginla's the man near the goal. Lucic, high slot, throws it corner. Bouwmeester in a battle with Iginla, who trips over the goal. Alex Steen trickles it toward Rask. It tumbles all the way to the end boards. It's icing against St. Louis. And if the Bruins hurry up and get set, they can take advantage because the Blues already just used their timeout.
Yeah, the Bruins are going to get fresh bodies on the ice. They're going to get their best face-off man out here, Patrice Bergeron. And even without the hurry up, you still have the advantage. St. Louis trying to catch their breath right now. The Bruins have fresh legs.
Sobotka just dives on the puck and then from his knees gets it back to Pietrangelo. Eriksson to Marchand. Marchand turns to the forehand. Gets sandwiched between Oshie and Bouwmeester. Boychuk's wrist shot. Save Halak. It got all the way through. Marchand cycles it for Bergeron. Eriksson taps it loose. Bergeron holds, throws it off the skate of Bouwmeester. 3 seconds to go. Marchand on the end boards can't sweep it in front and will go to overtime. And not to sound too much like a fuddy-duddy, Brick, but if this game ended in a tie, I personally would have no problem with that. It's been a heck of a hockey game.
Well, I'm no fuddy-duddy. I want a winner if this thing ends. And it's just a beautiful thing because both these teams have earned points tonight.
We will give you all the different spellings of fuddy-duddy when we return.
Saturday afternoon at 12:30. Get ready for the Hurricanes and Bruins with Dale and Billy when WB Mason presents Bruins Face Off Live. They'll bring you the latest Bruins news, break down Monday's 4-1 win in Raleigh, and have the latest league news and the NHL hat trick. Start your afternoon with NESN, Saturday at 12:30.
Yaroslav Halak with 23 saves. And a couple of glances over his shoulder. Tuukka Rask with 27 stops at the other end of the ice. 5 minutes, 4-on-4, sudden death. Bruins 6-1-1 in their last 8. Ken Hitchcock's Blues 6-1-1 in their last 8. The loss on each side of that, the second half of a back-to-backer with a home game, then travel to a worthy opponent. Boston at Ottawa and St. Louis at Washington.
There's going to be a loser in this hockey game, whether it ends in overtime or the shootout, but neither team should feel an emotional loss because they both played so well tonight. And because this is East versus West, both teams should play to win for the extra point.
Boychuk drops it off to Soderberg, who's played very strongly tonight. He's paired with Eriksson. Soderberg forward of the goal line, spun around and down with contact from Jackman, but the whistles are in the pockets pretty much now. Krug risks the puck through the corner to Eriksson. The Swedish tandem up front. Boychuk rotating the puck to Krug. Krug to Soderberg. Can't get it past Jackman. Jackman muscles it out and trips as he goes over his own blue line. St. Louis in a sloppy change. Eriksson taking it down his off wing. Sees Chara coming off the bench. Here's Hamilton. Can't go through the seam. Steen and Hamilton in a race. Hamilton gets body position. Roy has the game on his stick and rings it off the crossbar. The puck goes up and out of play. The face-off in the Boston zone. Derek Roy with a golden opportunity to end it. He beats Tuukka Rask cleanly, but hits the iron.
And this starts in the offensive zone for Boston. Dougie Hamilton, he had a little crisscross with Zdeno Chara after taking the drop pass. He kind of ran out of real estate, so his hand was forced. All he could try to do was either forward, shoot that puck, or else try to make a move to the backhand. Went for the backhand. Turnover. Roy the chance.
Derek Roy, a guy who scored 32 goals in 2008. Bruins fans know well from his time in Buffalo that he can really work this stick. Bergeron wins a faceoff. It trickles right through the crease. Hamilton and Chara, the defensive pair. Chara's pass picked off. Bouwmeester on the spoked B. Chara to Hamilton, has to extend. Oshie keeps good body position and gets the puck back to Bouwmeester. Backes. Oshie in the cross traffic. Oshie against Hamilton with Roy going to net. Pietrangelo took a stab at it. Krejci's pass bounces past Hamilton. Hamilton tries to trickle it past Cole and drags the puck along. Hamilton drops to Lucic. Lucic's bomb tipped and hits the apron of the goal, making the strings tremble, but won't go in. Steen has no stick. I don't know if it was his that was broken, and he gave his to a defenseman who broke his. No call as Krejci goes tumbling.
Yeah, Pietrangelo's stick is the one that's broken, and then
Roy drops for Steen.
Easily could have been a penalty on Cole.
Krejci drops the puck off. Kevin Miller seeing overtime playing time. Krejci over the line. Miller takes it high slot. In his first NHL game, Kevin Miller to Krejci, middle of the line. Miller takes off. Lucic muscling against Polak on the end boards. The puck squirts loose. Krejci tries to lift the stick of Jackman. Good luck with that. Jackman's one of the strongest players in the league. Sobotka working Miller's wing. Sobotka past the hash marks, holds it, drops it back. Jackman's drive into the pile in front. Polak off the metal apron of the goal. You might have heard it clank. Steen controls with space, cuts off the half boards. The shot wide on the stick side of Rask. Shattenkirk down the boards. The one-timer, Steeny fans on it. Krejci's pooped. Nowhere to go. But Iginla's fresh. Iginla holds. Here comes Kelly. Kelly's shot saved by Halak, and it's up off the end glass. Boychuk gets his body in the way. Iginla takes a big hit from Sobotka. Shattenkirk risks the puck up the boards. Tarasenko in a race with Krug. Krug trying to lift Tarasenko's stick. The puck comes loose. Kelly all the way back to make the play. The pass ahead of Iginla goes for icing with a minute and a half to go in the overtime period.
Chris Kelly with a real strong opportunity after the Bruins finally get possession of the puck. He got fresh legs in Iginla. He's able to pull up. Kelly finds the seam, and he gets all the way just north of the hash marks. Inside the tops of the circle, right by the hash marks. Lets a real good wrist shot go.
Backus and Schwartz up front for Ken Hitchcock's Blues. Here's Pietrangelo. The shot off of Krug's skate. Kelly. Krug. Boychuk has Iginla up the wing, drops it back. Now Boychuk has to outrace Backus, trickles it toward Rask, and Rask has to make the gloves stop. Boston Bruins Hockey on NESN is brought to you by the all-new Sierra, designed and engineered by GMC. Incredible thinking in the form of a truck. Sobotka and Steen up front. Pietrangelo and Bouwmeester, the defensive pair. Chara and Hamilton, the defenseman for Claude Julien's Bruins. Patrice Bergeron and Louis Eriksson, the forwards. A lot of lobbying going on between the two centers before the drop of the puck. Sobotka wins it cleanly. Bouwmeester's drive goes off Chara's legs as he's locked up with Steen. Hamilton, Eriksson trying to get away from Sobotka. Chara, the S curve around Steen. Eriksson, Bergeron with Chara setting up in front. Eriksson, the shot goes off glass. Backed himself into a seam to open it up. Now Chara has some space. Chara to Bergeron. Bergeron in front. Eriksson jabs at it. Sobotka settles things down for St. Louis. Bouwmeester in the final 45 seconds. Eriksson, the stick check to prevent the smooth pass. Chara off the skates of Marchand. He has to poke it back to Chara. Pietrangelo off the boards. Gains the line. Fires it toward Rask. He sticks it to the near boards. An easy stop for Shattenkirk. Quickly cross zone. Roy. It bounces down. Chris Stewart gives it back to Shattenkirk off the stick of Soderberg. Hamilton loops it ahead for Soderberg, who can win the game right here. Saved by Halak. Soderberg trying to get it to Marchand. 8 seconds to go. Last chance for the Blues. Stewart up Bartkowski's side. It'll go to a shootout. And Ken Holland has it right. You don't want this game to end that way. 5 more minutes and sure be great.
Derek Roy had the best opportunity for St. Louis. Rung one off the post on a breakaway. The Bruins had the last 2 unbelievable chances. A well-designed play between Eriksson and Bergeron. Eriksson just misses over the crossbar, over the glove. How about this pass by Dougie Hamilton? On his backhand, high lob, just lay it out there. Let Soderberg skate into it. Soderberg try to protect the puck, get it to the backhand, maybe go back through the legs. Wow. Opportunities in OT.
Shootout next. Save of the game brought to you by Digital Federal Credit Union. What can DCU save you? Well, yeah, Tuukka Rask doing a good job, and let's give him credit here on this flurry by Derek Roy and Alex Steen. But Steen tied for the league lead with Alex Ovechkin with 17 goals, credited with 0 shots on goal tonight. When you bring a shiny resume into TD Garden, the target's on you. And that means you're going to see a lot of Chara, and in this case, on this night, a lot of Dougie Hamilton.
No doubt the Bruins get up for those types of players that are having special years, elite players in the NHL. They game plan for them within the context of the overall game plan, and they've done a pretty good job again here tonight.
First game all season, Steen has not had a shot on goal. Boston has elected to shoot first. Patrice Bergeron, David Krejci, and Jerome Iginla will be Boston's shooters. TJ Oshie, Alex Steen, and Chris Stewart will shoot for St. Louis. Bergeron closes, dekes, and scores!
You know goaltenders do video work. They know Bergeron likes to come left to right and wait for that 5-hole to open, and it almost looked like Halak just overplayed the 5-hole, and Bergeron wisely goes option number 2 over the glove. He had half the net up top.
Here's a guy who's perfect so far this season, 3 for 3 in shootouts. TJ Oshie. The serpentine route toward Tuukka Rask has it on the hip. Deeks, and Rask stones him. Oshie was throwing everything at him, and Rask just wasn't buying.
It was actually a pretty good move, and it looked like he had a lot of net if he could have held this puck and kept it on the backhand right where he wanted to raise it. The puck slid off the heel, had no leverage, but Rask's right pad was there. He would have had him elevate.
David Krejci, after Oshie fails, the save by Halak.
Well, David Krejci had an opportunity to really put St. Louis in a tough position if he buries this one. He tries to go low blocker, a subtle fake as if he was going to go glove, and then against the grain.
Alex Steen puts it on his forehand, fakes, and scores. Perhaps just having observed the Oshie move, of course, his forehand is where Oshie's backhand is.
That's just a confident player. That's all there is to it. He got shut down tonight through regulation, through overtime, but here we are in the specialty. And with that confidence, he just went to his forehand and waited for an opening.
Jarome Iginla has had a lot of success against Halak. He closes and tries to rip it into the top corner, and he misses high.
Looked like this puck was on edge for the majority of the time that Iginla had the puck attacking the goal. When you move that puck a little bit with a stick handling move, you run the risk of that puck jumping on edge, and that puck was never flat when Iginla wanted to shoot it.
So Chris Stewart can win it for St. Louis. He closes, and Rask makes the stick save on the backhand.
Yeah, good stick that time by Tuukka Rask. Stewart tries to fake wrist shot, pull backhand, and slide it under his legs, similar to what Steen did.
Does Chris Kelly go with the dangling leg we saw on the penalty shot earlier this season? He closes, deeks, and loses control of the puck, and Halak will take it.
That was the move he wanted to make, Jack. Fake the shot, back leg, and then pull it backhand. Just lost it on the dribble.
Derek Roy gets a redo. Had a chance to win the game in overtime. He's got a chance to win it here in the shootout. Stops, deeks, and scores! Tuukka Rask slams the stick into the post and then flings the puck to the corner. St. Louis wins a very hard-fought game. Tuukka Rask really upset with himself. And the Bruins will take a point out of this one.
You know, one of those hot topics that we've had over the last few days, talking about overtime and fewer shootouts, if any?
Yeah.
This was a perfect game for this game to end in overtime.